Ashe and grand rising again to you all, my very beautiful people, my highly enriched melanin people, you the earth's original and organic humans, aka my fellow Africans. Yes, it is I, the Mystic Philosopher, and yes, it is evident that I'm still here with you on this side of reality. And welcome back to the Mystic P is talking again on the 15 minutes with I, the Mystic Philosopher, and this is episode 27. Now back to the topic of discussion, stress on the mind, or more correctly, the impact that this thing called stress has on this thing that we humans call mind, or the mind. And yes, I'm still talking about the word want and its relationship to the word stress, or to the words stress, money, and unhappiness. And I'm still emphasizing the want equation that I spoke to you about earlier, and where I pointed out that from I, the Mystic Philosopher's perspective, want is equal to money, which is equal to stress, which is also equal to unhappiness. Now, in my last talk, which was episode 26, I responded to a comment and also answered two questions that were asked of me by one of my very studious, analytical, truth-seeking, and free-thinking sister and listener. And the question she asked and the comment she made is as follows. Quote, Mystic, who or what are the Adamic race and races of people that I heard you talking about? And what do you mean by the Adamic race? She continued by saying, I've never heard any mention of those people before I heard you talking about them. Is this some strange doctrine that you are trying to introduce to our people? Unquote. Now, the truth be told, I have not heard back from this sister since I responded to her question, but I am hoping that my response was sufficient enough to satisfy her inquiry and to encourage her even more to keep on her quest for truth. For those of you that may have been listening to me for quite some time now, because I've been around for quite some time now, as you know, you can just check me out on the internet. You no doubt are well aware of two of my favorite quotes. Number one is, seek the company of those who seek the truth. Run away from those who found it. And that is by a former Czech Republic screenwriter and president whose name is Václav Havel. And number two, life is about asking questions that provide answers that only ask more questions. And that is from yours truly, I, the Mystic Philosopher. But I will get back to these two of my very favorite quotes at another time. And should I have more time on this side of reality to get into them with you. And so today I will get back to the discussion at hand. Stress on the mind. And I will continue to dissect, analyze, and share my perspectives on the first verse of the 23rd Psalm, as found in the Adamic Race History and Holy Book, commonly known as the Christian Holy Bible. And the quote is, of course, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want, unquote. And again, please let me remind you all of the fact that my perspectives are not religious or theological in nature or otherwise, but that they are philosophical and metaphysical in nature. That they are based, let me remind you that they are based purely on logic, reason, practical experiences, and activated common sense. And above all, that I am not asking you at all to agree with me or to follow me. All that I am asking is that you listen. Yeah, I appreciate when you listen. And think for yourself. And from your own perspectives. Now, As part of my analysis of the next word that I will be looking at from the quote, "The Lord is my shepherd," is the word shepherd, from the quote from the Adamic Race History and Holy Book. So far, I have looked at, and I've also defined and shared some of my perspectives on the word Lord. And just to summarize on that, we know that the word Lord, and in this particular case, the Lord, that is being talked about and referred to here in that quote of scripture, it denotes something or someone or a person who has power, authority, or influence, or both. And that some other words for Lord, or some other words that are synonymous with the word Lord, are the words master, ruler, king, queen, etc. In other words, the shepherd is supposedly a very powerful man or woman. But other than being a powerful person, be it a man or a woman, who really is a shepherd? And why would I, the mystic philosopher, ask such a question? It is because I think that I know from my perspective that there are some very powerful people, men and women that are evil, powerful people whose motives and intentions are very sinister. Well, by just looking at the word shepherd, and even by just pronouncing the word shepherd, we can both see, hear, and know that shepherd is a person that herd sheep. And herd, by meaning and definition, is, and I quote, a large group of animals, especially hoofed mammals, that live, feed, and migrate together, or else kept together as livestock, unquote. We'll be looking at that later. Now, we may also agree that technically and biologically, we are all animals. By this I mean that technically and biologically, we are all animated lump of protoplasms, or protoplasm. We may also agree that there is a hierarchy or a rank and distinction within the animal domain, aka, which is also known as the animal kingdom. We may also agree that the only thing that distinguishes us that are called humans within the animal domain or the animal kingdom is our activated brain power. Or just to elaborate on that a bit further, the only thing or things that separate us within the animal domain or the animal kingdom is that which we call our intellect, aka our human intelligence. It is our faculty for thinking, reasoning, and understanding things objectively, especially as it pertains to things that are abstract, meaning non-physical, or academic in nature, or academic matters. It is also our ability to memorize things, and also it is our language capability and our ability to reason, plan, and to be strategic in our endeavors, etc. That is what distinguishes us. However, we may also agree that if or when this our brain power, aka our intellect, that I have just described for you, is dormant, is inactive or passive or deactivated, then we become just like any of the other animals among us whose intellect-less characteristics we then exhibit and demonstrate or demonstrate. More on that later. If I am hereby correct, then we may also agree that whenever we are able to discern some of our supposedly fellow humans behaving like any of or like all of the rest of animals within the animal domain that are supposed to be below us as it pertains to brain power and intellect, then we must know and know of a fact that they have become subhuman or subhumans or animals. They have become animals of a lower class. But I will most definitely have much more to say on this point at another time or in my next talk, where I'll be focusing on such animals, and you can guess which one by now. It was and it is my intention as promised to continue sharing my perspectives on the word want, and especially as it relates to the first verse of this, the 23rd Psalm, that states very clearly, and I quote, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want." But because I have just given you, or given some of you, a lot to think about this time, as it relates to the words shepherd, intellect, and animals, etc., I think I should just stop here for today and maybe sing a little song. Let me see if the time permits. Yes, sing a little song for you and pick up back from right here in my next episode, which will be episode 28. Yes, if I'm afforded the time by the ancestors. Then I will continue talking about the disease called want, as I continue focusing on this quote from the Adamic race history and holy book, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want," as a reference just to make my point. So please stay tuned for "I shall not want," "You shall not want," and not, nor should you and I be found wanting. So let me, yes, I have a time. Let me try and do a little number for you now. The first time ever I saw your face, I thought the sun rose in your eyes, and the moon and the stars were the gifts you gave to the dawn. And the empty skies, my love, yeah, to the dawn. And the empty skies, my love, 'cause the first time, oh yeah, ever I kissed your mouth, I felt the earth move in my hand, like the trembling heart of a captive bird that was there, that was there, that was there at my command, my love. Oh yeah, that was there, that was there, oh yeah, at my command, my love. 'Cause the very first time ever I lay with you, I felt your heartbeat so close to mine, and I knew, oh John, it would fill the earth, that it would last and last and last till of time, my love. And the very first time ever I saw your face. Yes, running out of time. So please, my brethren, my gentle people, please join me next when I'm talking again, possibly in episode 28, where and when I will be picking up from where I'm now leaving off, talking and focusing on stress on the mind, or more correctly, the impact that this thing called stress is having on this thing that we humans call mind. In the meantime and between time, please let me remind you, my people, that yesterday is history. It too is dead and gone, no more to come back. Tomorrow is a mystery. It too may never come, but today is a gift, which is why we call it the present. And so I'm here by imploring you, I implore you to live for today. By live, I mean claim your natural birthright. And just in case you didn't know what that it is your happiness. Claim your happiness. Let nobody steal your joy today. Okay? And be good for today. And full joy your day today. And thanks again for your time and for listening. I am the Mystic Philosopher. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. I just said, time, I've gone over, pardon me.